The Osmo Action 4 just had a firmware update, and one of the updates is supposed to actually be quite significant, but I'll get onto that in a little while. If you're not sure about the firmware update, you didn't know that there was one, or you don't know how to update the camera, then all you have to do is open the Mimo app. When you connect the camera to the phone, then you'll get an icon pop up on the screen, and there'll be a little message there which says to download the new firmware update. Once you do that, it'll do it all for you, and then the camera will be updated. But one of the things to be really mindful of is that when you do apply the firmware update, you have to go back through your settings and put them back to how you want them to be, because it will just completely reset the camera. So this also applies to the microphone as well. So if you use the DJI Mic 2, then if you have certain settings set up in the camera but for the mic, then you're going to have to go back through and just enable those settings again. So just be mindful of that. So there are two main updates, and one of them is supposed to be quite a significant update in that it upgrades the quality of the footage when you shoot at a frame rate of 30 FPS or lower. So you're supposed to be able to see better detail in the highlights, for example, but this is something that I'll only be able to really know over time. I don't know why I didn't just think about doing this earlier, but I switched from 48 FPS to 25 FPS and did a comparison in those two frame rates, because obviously the higher frame rate doesn't apply the new, or doesn't have the new update present, if that makes sense. It only works when you shoot at 30 FPS and below. So I did a few clips in 48 FPS and a few clips in 25 FPS, and I think there is a difference. I think there definitely is. I think there is a difference. It's worth trying. And then the second update is to do with the DJI Mic 2, and this is actually going to help you to save a little bit of battery life. So when the microphone isn't connected to the camera, so if the camera's been switched off and the microphone's disconnected, and as long as you're not recording internally to the mic, so the mic just has to be basically idle and not have been connected to anything in the last 15 minutes, but basically the microphone will power off, so you'll be able to save some battery life there, which is quite useful. You just have to remember to then obviously switch the microphone back on when you turn the camera back on. So that's the only thing that I might forget, but yeah, maybe that could have been good if it actually connected when you switch the camera on. But there you go. Give it a try. And also, I'm really curious to see if you can see the difference between the video quality. I think in terms of like the colours, it looks a little bit different, but I just have to play around a little bit more and get a little bit more footage. But let me know in the comments if you can see a difference, and catch you on the next video.